There you
Hey,
go.
hello everyone. Super excited that you guys are on our Taco Tuesday. So I had a lot of people say they want to talk more about recruiting because they're struggling getting recruits. So I was going to talk about recruiting, but I actually really asked Ashley to talk about recruiting because Ashley will probably tell her story a little. But there was a few years, Ashley's a director, but there were a few years that she kind of struggled with recruiting. And so it's kind of fun to hear how her a couple of years of struggling has she's really recruiting like a rock star now and doing really good. So I thought it'd be good for a lot of you because a lot of you may be struggling with recruiting and want to hear from someone who struggles point of view of how they've overcome it. So Ashley is a director here in Utah. She's amazing and is getting close to hitting star director this year. So and superstars not too far. So she's really growing like crazy. So anyway, I am going to turn it over to Ashley and take it away, Ashley.
Okay, I am going to share my screen mostly because I'm a teacher and I hate to look at myself all day. So obviously, I have a PowerPoint to share. And I've got to move some stuff. So if there is only one thing that you take from all night, it is that, oh, that's not what I wanted. It is that the very best things in this world happen at the beach. And who would not love that beach? That was Hawaii leadership last January. We need to go back. So Sarah's really, really nice. Those of you who don't know Sarah's really, really nice. And when she says that I struggled for a few years with recruiting, that is the world's biggest understatement. I believe in being 100% honest. So these are my actual numbers. 7 years from 2013 to 2019, my team was adding less than 14 all the time. I had 2 and then 3 and then 1 and then 0 and then 0. Across 7 years, I only added 8 consultants to my team. And I'm going to be super duper honest. My team wasn't growing, right? 29, 20, 35, 38, 28. I think something happened here. I want to say like Velada went away. 31, we were stagnant. We were seeing no growth whatsoever. And it was very frustrating. If somebody asked me, I would say that I was giving it my all. When Sarah was like, you need to recruit, I'm like, oh, Sarah, I'm trying. Poor Sarah. Poor Sarah. But December of 2019, like everything was falling apart. My business was not in a good place at all. I work as a school teacher. That was not going well. I had some health problems. And my only thing that I was waking up every morning and telling myself was, we just have to get to leadership. We just have to get to Hawaii. I just need to make it to Hawaii. After Hawaii, my plan was to just keep saying, we just have to make it to Disneyland because I had a Disneyland trip coming up. Like I was literally just limping through every single day. And these numbers, these recruiting numbers were in the back of my head, but they certainly weren't anything that I was constantly looking at. But something changed because here is 2020. My team added 41 in 2020. We more than doubled our size to 73. I added 12, which was more than I had added in the 8 years before that. So far this year, my team has added 15. I got one girl got one yesterday. And of those 15, 4 of those are mine. We stand at 82. And that has me with 24 frontline. I have more frontline than I had some of those years on the previous slide. 3 things happened in 2020 other than Corona, because we're not acknowledging that. Hawaii leadership happened, Grow with the Flow incentive, and our Disney trip. So I'm going to tell you that the only thing that happened is that I asked myself these 4 questions, and I got these 4 questions from another person, completely unrelated to Scentsy. Like we were talking about something else that was going on in my life. And they said, what do you want most? And what are you doing to get it? How often do you do those things? And when I answered those 3 questions, my friend looked right at me and said, okay, but be real. How authentic are you being? How honest are you being when you answer those? And the conversation that I was having with this other person was about something completely not related to Scentsy, right? It was not about this at all. But I found myself on this beach because we were in Hawaii and it was amazing, asking myself those exact same questions with my Scentsy business because I was in Hawaii. I was around amazing leaders. I was having incredible conversations with people from the home office. Fabulous Chuck helped me with something just the month before, and I got to thank him in person. I had sent him an email, but I also got to thank him in person. And that was just so awesome to be able to be part of that group. So I'm sitting on this beach and I'm just going, I need to get it together, right? So my questions, my answers to these questions were, what do you want most? Oh, recruits. I want growth on my team. What are you doing to get it? Oh, I am asking everyone. How often are you doing this? A lot. And in that moment, friends, in that moment, I was like, oh, Ashley, you're just lying to yourself now, right? How authentic are you being in your actions and your answers? Oh, I was lying, right? I wasn't asking people. I wasn't asking people. I wasn't asking people every day. I was putting no thought. I was having zero intention with what I was doing. But in Hawaii, I realized that I wanted to be there. I wanted to be not just in Hawaii, I wanted to have amazing conversations with other leaders and feel like I really belonged there. I wanted to be part of that. And more than anything else, I wanted to see things before anyone else. We all know that our SSDs see things on calls, and sometimes these things just stay in the home office and never really come to fruition. If you've been to Director Boot Camp or Star, is it Summit Approach? I'm not 100% sure.
I'm gonna
But if
approach.
you've been to these things, and if you have ever had a conversation with Orville, you know the man can't stay quiet, right? He drops things all the time. Some of them come true, some of them never go anywhere. When I went to boot camp, it was still when Velada was around, and he was talking about sushi rollers and different, oh my gosh, now I just drew a blank. Anyways, for like an hour and a half, the man told us everything that he wanted to bring with Velada and how many prototypes they had and all this stuff. And I'm like, I'm never going to be able to tell anyone about this. This is so sad, right? I wanted that. Sitting on the beach, I was like, I want to know about things before they happen. I want to know about things that may never happen. Like, that is so cool to me because I'm kind of a nerd. So I really decided that I was going to change everything that I thought. I was constantly asking people, what do you say? There's no script, my friends. There's no guarantee. It's all about connection, right? Like, you really, really have to connect with people to understand how Scentsy is going to benefit them. So these are actual conversations I've had with people. And if you look at what I've circled, because it's important to make things easy to see, I became really, really intentional with who I was asking, right? My cute friend, Natalie. I asked her because she was buying so much in one setting 3 or 4 times a year, right? And she even acknowledges when she responds, I'm always buying and this would be good for me. Over on the right, I have a conversation that came about because I had posted on Facebook, just the host kit. It was just like, hey, I have a no cost kit if anybody's interested. And a friend that lives couple houses down from me, literally on my same street. We both live on the same street. Writes and says, I'm curious about doing this, but it's probably not a good idea being in the same hood, right? I didn't even know that she wanted to. So these are 2 different conversations that one that I show that we can connect, right? And one that I really should have connected on better. I want to talk about your PWS too, because that's huge. The top 2 messages are actually people that were just looking at Scentsy.com, put in their zip code, and ended up with me because I had an active PWS. If you don't have a PWS, you're not really being intentional about an expense for your business that is a legitimate business expense. The text message on the bottom. I I think that the important part on this one is that sometimes people will reach out to you, right? Like the two people up top, they're like, hey, I was just looking online. It asked me to select a sponsor. I found your information. Are you okay with this? Um, but sometimes they don't reach out. And so it's kind of your job too. So the text on the bottom is me actually on another beach texting people because I was angry that I hadn't gotten a recruit in a while. And I texted, I just said, hey, zero obligation. It's just a kit. Worst case scenario, you get this stuff. She's like, I think I might be interested, right? But that bottom line down there just smacked me right in the face because I had posted on Facebook, but had I not reached out to this person specifically, she would have probably never responded. So it's important that we're creating those connections and watching what our customers are doing, and truly that we're working to fire our customers. Like, I don't know if there's a different way to put that, but we've got to be looking at our best customers and explaining to them that this opportunity can benefit them and not be afraid of a slow start. Not everybody is going to get sensational start level 1, 2, and 3, and that is okay. Sometimes it takes customers a while to realize the benefit that this is. It's just our job to invite and continually show them. Then we always have to be mindful of the long game. I want you to look at the dates on this one. July of 2016, I was just trying to get her to book a party. Oh heavens, I was just trying to get her to book a party. 2 months later, I'm still trying to get this girl to book a party, right? She finally posted on her Facebook and was like, hey, if I had a party, who would be interested? I want to say she had something like 35 responses that, yeah, they wanted to order right now kind of situation within 2 hours. I'm like, hey, you're getting really good feedback on your post. Are you sure you want to wait 2 more months? And she still pushed me out another 3 weeks. Cracked me up. At her party, she had over $1,000 in sales. And I was like, join. And she's like, no, I'm not a salesy kind of girl. Okay. Posted a kit at the beginning of July 2020. 4 stupid years later. Tell me about the starter kits and if I can make any money as a side gig. Oh, girlfriend, right? Like, we have to be okay playing the long game. Now, truthfully, this particular consultant, I feel a lot of remorse about. I should have followed up with her sooner. That was me failing to connect. But I did catch her on my connection year, so I call it a win. So honesty is very, very paramount. Take a few seconds or screenshot this for later or grab it on the recording or whatever, jot it down if you're kind of a pen and paper girl. What do you want most? And be honest, right? Don't answer the way that you think your title or your rank or your upline would think you want to. Be honest. What do you want most? And what are you really, really doing to get it? I was doing nothing. Truthfully, I was asking maybe 3 people a month and in a super, super half-assed way. So if you're doing anything more than that, you're doing tons better than I was. How often are you doing these things? And really, how often are you doing these things? If you're like, I'm doing it every day, but you're only sending out 1 invitation to join a day, then probably we're not doing it as often as we need to really grow our business. And then how authentic are you being with yourself? I will also add that when you're asking people to join, it's equally important to be authentic with them. I have sent out texts that say, I'm going to fire you as a customer because I'm making too much money off of you. If you don't join, I'm going to pass you off to somebody else. And I pass them off to my downline. And that may not be the best thing to do, but I want them to know that they are going to regret not joining eventually. In fact, I passed off one to one of my downline, and she is now asking my downline if she can join under her. We're having a battle over who she's going to join under. I think it should be my downline. So you need to change something. If you are not getting what you want from your actions right now, you need to change something. And be really, really honest with yourself when you answer this question. Are you going to change what you say you want? or are you going to change what you are willing to do? For me, if you had caught me in October of 2019, I probably would have changed what I said, truthfully. I probably been like, I'm fine being a forever director that's only a director in the fall. I just don't care about it. If you had asked me in October, to be honest with myself, that's probably the answer you would have gotten. But you caught me on that beach in Hawaii where all of the things that I wanted kind of just converged upon each other. And all of a sudden, I was very, very willing to change what I was doing every single day. And I think the big buzzword that needs to come out of this is the word diligence. And that is careful and persistent work or effort. If you are not diligently investing in recruiting and building your team, it's not going to happen. Happy accidents happen, right? Somebody goes to Sensi.com and joins on your website. That's a happy accident. It's not the best way to recruit, but it works. Diligence is what's going to get your team built. Now, I know this is one of those like feely conversations, and I'm actually not all in it to win it for that. So here is our how. First of all, own your own dumpster. Maybe it sparkles. Maybe you're doing great with recruiting right now, and you just need to fine tune a few things. Maybe it's on fire, rolling up a hill. That was my recruiting dumpster. It was bad. Be real with yourself and answer those 4 questions before you try anything. Truthfully, answer the 4 questions before you try anything. Don't use a universal script for everyone. Be authentic to their needs and what Sensi can do for them. We have an amazing company that offers so much more than just a commissions check. We really do. So leverage that. How is this business really a benefit to them? Because some people don't care about dollars. Like money's nice, but it's not what motivates them. So don't hang your hat on that hook all the time. Have a personality and be personable. Like I said, I try to fire customers. I straight up tell people, I'm going to ask you a question and you can pass if you want to, but don't get a ghost me. Sometimes I drop some other words in there when I tell them they can't ghost me because that's me. And they know that. It's a lot better than copy and pasting someone else's script that doesn't sound like me, that just makes the relationship awkward after that, right? Again, scripts are garbage. Don't copy and paste. Practice. Practice low risk situations until you get comfy. Practice with your upline. Practice with your downline. Practice with another friend in your group. Practice with your spouse, your best friend, your sister, your grandma. It doesn't matter. Just get the words to come out until they're natural. And as soon as they do, know that it's never really comfortable. You're going to send a message to somebody that you're like, okay, they're going to do amazing. And they know that Sensi is great and they love the products and they always want more and they need money right now. And they are going to say yes. And then it comes back as a no. It's uncomfortable for a hot minute, but you know what? All you did was your job and it's just fine, and go for that long game. Practice, 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 because practice will help you progress. I promise, I promise. And last, another beach picture because best things happen on the beach. And if I can do this, guys, going from 7 years, 8 recruits total, you really can't get a lot worse than that. And if you are seriously hanging out with numbers lower than that, let's chat. Me and you can be friends. I will make you feel better about whatever's going on, and I will help you get out of it. Because if I can change this, you really can too. I promise, promise. And I'm serious. If you are like, nope, my numbers are that bad and I've tried to change and this just isn't working, find me on Facebook. We'll be friends. I don't really like people, but I'll be your friend. And that's it. And I kind of don't want the beach picture to go away, but I guess I have to. That's sad.
Okay, thank you, Ashley. And if y'all know, Ashley is brutally honest and I love it. She gets after me for not being brutally honest. But one thing, I love your questions, 4 questions, but something else you said, money is nice, but it isn't what motivates me or them. And I think that's important when you're talking to them. What motivates them? Yeah, we all want money, but why? Is it for your kid's sport, or is it for a vacation, or is it just to get friends? I like that. So find the why and really connect with them, I think was great. Karen's asking, any questions for Ashley before I'm reading through if there's anything?
I'm just seeing a whole lot of this was awesome, Ashley. And it really was. It was so good. And it was kind of a gut kick that I needed too. So thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead, Sarah.
Nope, go ahead.
I was going to say, I know that I sound kind of harsh sometimes, right? But I am more than willing to help anyone who's like, I just can't do it this way. It's not working how I'm doing it, and I just can't keep doing it. I really am willing to help because I think it's a hard place to be in. I know that most of the training, especially that we get from like Reunion and not Spring Sprint,
World Tour,
is always those really great stories, right? About I joined in January and I got 15 recruits and I hit sensational start level 3 and I earned my first incentive and I did this and I did this and I have sparkly things. And that wasn't me. Like, it was never me. And I kind of fell into a director position. And, I just always felt like I kind of don't really belong in this area. I mean, I do okay at it, but I don't really belong in it. So all of these things are things that I really had to tell myself to just push myself out of it, because it doesn't matter if you've earned those things or not. You belong here. Everyone belongs here. That's what makes it great.
Okay, we do have some questions now. Someone said, Kelly said, I have someone who is thinking of joining, but she is on the fence. How do I nudge her in the right direction?
So, Kelly, I always explain the benefit to them, right? Like, if they're a really great customer, I will total up how many orders they've had with me in the last 3 months, 6 months, however often they order. And I tell them, look, I've made this much off of you. Even if you're not 100% sure you want to be in it to win it as a business, let's at least let you make the money back off of yourself. If they are like, oh, I might want to do this as a business, then I do say, look, I'm not going to push you, but I have some things I want you to try, and I will help you with them if you want me to. And then the host kit is huge. For my business, the host kit is huge. If I have a host that passes on it, or if I have, because I do events, if I have orders that are going in, I will not close out that party until I've offered it. And my number is insane, but Sarah knows I was sitting on the beach with her we were sitting in South Carolina, just hanging out. And I was so angry that I hadn't gotten a recruit yet that month. I said, I'm sitting here until I contact 15 people. And I did before we went out to the beach. And I think Sarah was annoyed. So those host exclusive kits are huge. Offer. And if you don't have one, ask them if they want to host their launch and flip it over to them.
And out of those 15, you had 2 interested, didn't you? 3 interested. So
yeah, one just took a long time to get back to me.
So yeah. And I wasn't annoyed. I was pushing you. No, 20, Ashley, 20.
She was.
Another question. Stephanie asked, this is great. This was great. Much appreciated. Any insight on motivating downline to bring in new teamies?
Okay, Stephanie, I'm going to tell you that people will follow your momentum. Last year with Grow with the Flow, I think I recruited 6 before anyone else on my team did. And as soon as that first person did, I made a huge deal out of it on our Facebook page, right? I tagged the new recruit, welcome to the stars, Sarah. You have the best sponsor ever. Kim's phenomenal. She'll help you with everything. However, if you can't get a hold of her, let me know. I'm so glad you're here. And then I messaged that consultant individually and I was like, you're doing great. I'm so glad. Let me know. I know bringing new teamies on can be daunting. I am here to help you. Most people, especially newer consultants, hesitate to push the opportunity because they don't know how to be leaders themselves.
And can I tell them your great idea that you told me about in South Carolina, again on the
Our
beach?
boxes?
Yes, and I'm actually starting it Thursday, tomorrow. No, today's Tuesday, Thursday, 2 days.
So I can look at it tomorrow when I come up.
Well, I'm starting it Thursday.
Okay. I can't come up on Wednesday and Thursday.
Anyway, go ahead and tell them that, because that was your idea, not mine.
So lots of us do shout outs for our new consultants, right? So-and-so's on, welcome to the team. This is who, those kind of things. And we make a really big deal out of it. Everyone welcomes them, they heart them, and they get a whole lot of Scentsy love right off the bat. I wanted to engage the sponsors more. So we are making, did we ever decide what we're calling them? Like recruiting boxes to send out to them. And each one's going to be a different theme. And they're just going to be like small, easy to do, easy to replicate across multiple teams. But just so it's like an exclusive monthly thing that you only get if you recruit, but that you can kind of collect things along the way, because I really do want more excitement around being the sponsor and how really cool that is to be able to bless someone else's life.
Yeah, so I took Ashley's idea and we're going with it. But yeah, and I used oh my goodness, what's her name? She did all the whiff boxes. Sweet girl. Oh my gosh, Karen, who am I? Just 2 weeks ago she talked.
Debbie.
Oh my gosh, I should know that. I took her cute labels, and I'm gonna just do that, just like she said, over the box. And I got a bunch of ideas for upcoming months that I haven't written down. I gotta show you, Ashley. But some of them I just found on other ideas. So Brightbox has some, and they are just cheap, kind of cute little things to put in there. And then I'm gonna kind of take a twist on those and make it for that. I have a bunch already signed up or written out. So anyway, but yeah, I think it's good to recognize those that are recruiting, because that will get more team excited. Well, I want to get what's in this box this month, and I'm going to take pictures of them. Okay, these are the recruiting boxes. Anyone who gets a recruit gets one of these, because like Ashley said, we a lot of times praise the new recruits, and yeah, we'll say congratulations so and so on getting a new team member or whatnot, but I think praising them will help others want that, and they're going to want to know what's in each box, and it'll make it fun. So,
and that idea also came from the beach.
Okay, I think there was another question. Let's see, where did it go?
I saw a question. Stacy says she's had a couple people randomly join this month. And there's actually a couple questions that are kind of like this. She's reached out to them, sent welcome packets, and nothing. And it's frustrating. One of them did email her back and said she had some family problems, but the other one's totally ghosted her. So, and someone else did something similar. They had someone join, but they aren't doing anything with their business. Any ideas to jumpstart?
So I'm super honest with those people too. I just email them and I say, hey, I noticed you joined on this day and haven't placed an order. I was wondering if, and I number them, I was wondering if, one, you're struggling understanding the workstation, or two, you have decided you just want to be a customer. And then underneath I say, either way, it's totally okay. Let me know so I can help you. And if they say, oh, I just want to be a customer, I say, okay, you can order off your own PWS or workstation if you want to. Otherwise, you're welcome to continue buying from me. And I let them decide, because sometimes they do just recognize that the kit is like a really, really good deal. I'm also going to say that I joined as a kitnapper. I had no intention of selling. I didn't even realize I was going to my first party. I had a coworker that was like, hey, I'm hosting for you in 2 weeks because you at least have to make back your money on your kit. And I was like, yeah, okay. And she was like, no reals. I have my sisters and my mom coming over. And I'm like, okay. She called me on my way home from work and was like, are you coming over? My family's here. I showed up with one catalog that was shoved in my purse, and she had taken the testers like the day after I got them. Like that was my launch party. So don't write people off because you never know what weird thing their coworker is going to do. But truthfully, I just reach out and I just say, look, tell me where you're at. And I don't care either way. I just want to support you.
Yeah. And something I have done recently with some of my new recruits who aren't doing much is I am doing a launch party for them. And I don't know if I'm spoon feeding a little too much. I know I need to be more blunt, but they're online, but I'm like, all you have to do is give me a party link and I will bug them. And there was one girl on the beach, Ashley, I was like, give me your dang party link. I'm doing this party for you. All you have to do is give me a party link. Here are the steps. Have you done it? Have you done it? Let me walk through it a different way. And I was a little pushy. I don't know if pushy's the right word. I was helping her out. I just needed her a little effort and we got a party going. She invited some people and she's gotten quite a few interested in placing orders and I have been placing on her PWS. And that might be just something to see, let them know, hey, this isn't too hard, just invite people, let them know these things, and hopefully they can take it on from there. And I've been just using Visily, so it's not, too much work for me. So.
And I don't think that's necessarily spoon feeding, Sarah, though, because you are teaching them how to do their own party by default in that process. So I think that's a positive thing. Some people will never, they have failure to launch because they don't know how. And you're taking that step out for them.
Okay, was there any other questions? Is she now on your team? I'm not sure what question that went with. Sorry, Naomi.
I'm not sure either. My coworker that forced me to have a party joined my team at one point. It was when we had those huge testers. Spooned out everything in the tester and never ordered under her. So, but she still buys from me. Shanna says the lady that signed up under me asked if she could sell stuff that came in her kit. Wow. I'd say no, sell the stuff off your PWS.
Use what you got in the kit to share the product is what I would say. That is there to share and let people smell and see. Take that warmer to work or to a friend's house or take it different places. Let that be the selling point. I mean, we all know the smell is what sells, right? So getting that warmer they get and putting it in places that people will be, I mean, that's what sells Scentsy, is the wonderful scents we have, the strength, the whatnot. So getting it out there.
Okay. I have a question for you, actually. And I think I know what you're going to say for the answer, but I think it would be good to say it out loud. So, you talked about when you asked yourself the 4 questions and you kind of reminded yourself, were you really putting the work in? Were you really talking to people and asking people? I think that sometimes people think, like you said, asking 1 or 2 people is doing the work. If you were realistic, if you want to promote to director or if you want to earn an incentive, how many people do you think you should be asking? Like, give me a good ratio of, I ask this many and this many are going to say yes.
I am type A personality. I like to have lots of control. I like to have a lot of order and I like to have a lot of organization. I'm also a little batshit crazy. Keep that in mind. I printed out my customer list. All pages, didn't matter where they came from, how long I had known them, if I even recognized the name at this point. If I had any piece of contact information, as soon as they announced Disney, because I love Disney everything, I literally just started going down that list. And what I did is if I recognized the name, if I knew they were a customer, anything, if I had anything that I could intentionally tie to a business opportunity, I asked them. I made a goal to ask 20 people a day. Didn't hit it every day, but I found that as I was getting more recruits, even if the recruits were duds, because I got a few duds, as I was getting more recruits, those conversations were easier to have. It was also easier for me to pick out exactly what was going to benefit that customer or that former host or that random person that I met, just at the grocery store, right? If you want to promote to director and you are really, really serious and you are in a recruiting slump, just to give yourself the momentum and the push, I would do two things. Set a goal for 50 people a week and hope you get one. And that might be really legitimate. It might be really pessimistic. It's really hard to say, but I'd say 10 people a day, Monday through Friday, take the weekends off or catch up on the weekends. But the other thing you need to have is an accountability partner. I was texting Sarah every single day during some of those slower slump times. And I was like, I've asked 5, I'm asking 5 more. I've asked 10, I'm going to start again tomorrow. I am angry. But it kept me very engaged, mostly because she'd be sassy back and be like, well, why don't you ask 3 more before you go to bed?
So don't you feel like the more you ask, the more you become detached from the answer too? So it's not personal, you know?
Yes. And I also try, it took me probably 3 months, the whole Grow with the Flow probably last year, 4 months. It took me a while to find a way to word it to the person I was offering the opportunity to, so it wasn't personal to them either, right? I'm giving them personality. I'm explaining how it will personally benefit them. But if they tell me no, we're still going to go get fat girl ice cream at the end of the week.
Yeah. And so the next question that I know people are going to ask is, what if I don't have 50 customers, or what if I don't know 50 people? Which leads me to think it's time to expand your customer base, right?
Yep. So if you don't have 50, you need to start booking events or parties or something. Even if you offer a combination of things, right? Like if you're like, okay, I'm going to find my 3 best friends and I'm going to be really, really honest with them. And I'm going to say, friend number 1, I'm struggling with one aspect of my business and I'd really like to do better with it. I'm calling in a personal favor. I need you to host and I need you to invite 10 people and I need to have 10 real conversations with them. I'm going to host that party. I'm going to offer it to my best friend saying, best friend, I don't care if you join me or not. I just need to practice getting these words out of my mouth until I'm comfortable. And when she says no, I'm going to go to her guest that spent the most money. And then I'm going to go down from there. And even if and it's okay to say, it is totally okay to say, I am really, really just uncomfortable with having this conversation. And the more I practice, the easier I know it's going to get. It's okay to be honest with people. Worst case scenario, they're going to be like, oh, look, that person's trying to do better at their job. And that's not a bad thing.
Okay, another question. I don't know if you see it. From Megan, when you went through your customer list, how did you approach the ones you don't have recent contact with or don't remember, etc.?
So what I did, because, Sensi pulls, if they don't open your email or if it bounces back too many times, Sensi pulls them off your newsletter list. So I would email and I would just say, hey, Sarah, it's Ashley. It looks like the last time you purchased was at so-and-so's party or this date, depending on what information I had, right? This event, something. It looks like the last time you purchased was this time. I am just updating my customer list and I'm wondering if you have another Sensi consultant or if you are interested in buying in the near future, I will keep you on my customer list. I will say probably 3 times out of 5, definitely more than 50%, but not like 90%. 3 times out of 5, when I sent that to some random, I don't know where you came from, they responded with an order. And if they responded with an order, I said, oh, great. I'm so sorry I didn't reach out sooner. I feel like a terrible consultant. I've been a little swamped. I don't know if you know, but Sensi offers these incentives and I'm working my tail off to get to Disney World. I'll go ahead and put that in for you. I'll get back to you with the shipping and the tax. Even though I knew it right then, I sent them one email so I could have a second point of contact where it looked like I was following up and being on top of my business, because clearly I wasn't before. And then I emailed them again or texted them again, and I just said, hey, it's Ashley, your total is this. I do have a no out-of-pocket kit that my most recent host passed on. What I can do is add this to it and flip it back over to you if you'd like to make commissions off your own purchase by becoming a consultant. So it was 3 different emails. It was the point of contact, the taking their order, and then the following up with their total. It did require me to really stay on top of my emails and my texts, which is not easy during the incentive, because, you know, things kind of get a little crazy. But more often than not, it resulted in somebody that is now a continuing customer that I'm doing a better job following up with. And I did get 2 recruits that way.
And I know 2 people said, you know, they're worried about feeling too pushy. But I think if you word it that way, just like you did, it's not pushy. You are actually helping them. Hey, do you want to get commissions on this order? I think a lot of times we got to get outside of our own head thinking that we're being pushy, because honestly, it is our job, and you need to offer in a nice way, offer in an, you know, helping out way. And I don't think it comes across as pushy.
And I do always try to give them an out, right? I say, it's totally okay if not, I just thought I would offer. And most of the time, if people are going to, and you guys, I can't stress enough, some weird emoji, like randomly I'll drop a llama in there, and they'll always write, if they're going to say no, they'll just be like, LOL, no thanks, love the llama. I use the llama a lot, because why the heck is there a llama in this message?
Trying to read. Here's another question. So wait, last time they ordered, do they have another consultant so you can update your customer list? I feel like there was another point to that.
Okay, so Kelly, if I haven't talked to him in a while, I just reach out and I say, hey, the last time you ordered was, you know, whatever I can remember. Or if I truthfully can't remember, I just say, hey, I'm trying to clean up my customer list. I apologize for not following up with you sooner. I was wondering if you have a current consultant that you're buying from, or if you're interested in placing an order anytime soon. If not, I can remove you from my customer list, or I'm just trying to update my customer list, or whatever it is, just to try to get some feedback from them. And then honestly, if they say no, like if they ghost me, if they say nothing, I remove their email and I remove their phone number, so that when I'm using Amy to like mass text out like crazy about new LTOs that are dropping, or like Father's Day, or when we're having a catalog change, or the 10% off sale, or any of those fabulous things, when I'm scrolling through Amy like a crazy person, if I click in and there's no option for me to do anything other than mail something to their house, I clear them out really fast and I just keep moving through it.
I can't remember who said it. It was a recruiting training years ago. I was on a panel, and well, 2 things. I was on a panel with Sarah years ago, and she talked about going through like the drive-through. Do you remember that, Sarah? And you know how they ask if you want to upsize the meal, right? And then when you say no, the lady that took your order does not go crying in the back, right? But a lot of people do upsize their order because you asked. And if you didn't ask, they wouldn't do that. And the other conversation, and it might be another Sarah-ism, I don't remember, but someone said, you know, it's not your job to decide if it's right for them. It's your job to ask them. Like, that's on them. Let them make the decision. You're not pressuring them. You're sharing something with them, right? But don't presume it's not right for them. You never know.
And I have said both of those, so I don't know if it
We'll
was.
give Sarah credit for both of those.
Another thing that I always use an example. Wonderful Alice, Heidi's mom, once told me something that really stuck. Is she asked one of her friends who'd been a friend for a while if she wanted to be a consultant. And she started crying. She's like, oh crap, I just offended her. I didn't dare ask her. And then I asked her and now she's offended because she was crying. She goes, oh, I'm sorry. If you don't want to, it's not a big deal. And she said, no, I'm crying because you never asked. I didn't think I was good. You thought I was good enough. But for you to ask me, it makes me think that you think I'm good enough to be a consultant. And that always stuck to me. You got to think of it as that way. You know, we're always so fearful of that no, or we're being pushy and whatnot. You got to think of, they may find it's a blessing. It's been a blessing to us. It could be a blessing to them. You got to look at it as you think they're good enough. And one thing I always say is give them a compliment. You know, worst thing, you know, say you would make an amazing consultant because you are so outgoing, or you have so many friends, you would be such a great consultant, or whatever. There's always something. You're so organized, you'd be a great consultant. Always give them a compliment. Worst comes to worst, they leave with a compliment. And they're not going to be mad getting a compliment. So
I always do that when I'm thinking, when I'm Megan Clements calls it her hit list. Some people call it their, you know, their recruiting list or whatever. But I always have a list of people that I think would be great. And I always write down next to them why I think they would be great. Because quite honestly, there is a reason why everyone would be good at this, right? And if you can't come up with something positive, a positive attribute, or why this would be a benefit to them or in their lives or whatever, then you need to think a little more before you have a conversation with them. So I think that's easy. Someone sent me a direct message and said, do you have any information on how the out-of-pocket kit can be used for someone else? So can we just in 2 minutes go over the host exclusive kit?
Yeah. So anytime you are ready to use a host exclusive kit, anytime your party reaches 200 PRV or more, you can swap out your host, just like you're going through your edit party details. You can swap out your host, add the person that you want to make the new consultant with the kit. You add the host exclusive kit to, in the right language, English or Spanish in US. You add that kit to the host credit section. It will immediately send that person an email. It gives them a link for them to click and enroll as a new consultant. When they finish that and you open back into your party, it will have this little toggle switch. That's how you know that they have filled out that email, that will allow you to flip the party to them if you want to. If it's not their party, you have no obligation to flip that sucker to them, but you can. And then you can close out the party as soon as that shows up. You don't want to close out the party before that because that means they haven't clicked on the link. It becomes a no out-of-pocket cost kit at 500 PRV for the US. I'm not sure if you have other regions in here. Okay, if somebody can drop into chat what your party reaches to be a no out-of-pocket cost.
it's just 500 PRV.
It's 500 PRV.
In all regions?
PRV, yeah.
Not
'Cause
dollars.
Oh, heavens.
I knew you knew that.
Yeah, it makes sense when you don't think about it in dollars, but that's what I was doing. The one thing that I do really, really want to caution you about is that the home office has been very, very clear that this is not a free kit. There is a cost associated with it that is covered by the host rewards if you so choose. There are times that if the person I am flipping a party, or not flipping a party to, using a host exclusive kit for is not the host, I don't necessarily always use a no cost kit. Sometimes if it's not a $500 party, I do ask them to pay the difference. Other times I bump it up to a $500 party so that there is no cost, depending on their situation. So what I would do is, if you haven't done it before, go in and play around with it. Tell your significant other or best friend or grandma that you're going to send them a kit link so that you can see what it looks like. You can go through the whole process up until the point you have to confirm, and then really get to see what it is from your side as well as the future consultant side. I did it twice before I actually offered it to somebody because I didn't want to look like a total moron, and I still looked like a moron. I did. But I want to talk about Jennifer's comment really fast because I'm not 100% sure if I understand what she's saying. She said, I walked in planning to talk to 5 people at Sam's and I chickened out and only got 2 numbers. First of all, Jennifer, if you are telling me you walked into Sam's like in your head, ready with that mindset that you are going to ask 5 people, friggin' kudos to you, sister, because I don't even know that I could walk in with a mindset of talking to 5, maybe 1. Second, if you walked in and actually talked to 2 and got numbers to follow up with, like double kudos. Like the world is your oyster. you may have been wanting to puke your guts out the whole time, but Sister Pants, I am in awe of you. You should be thrilled with that. And honestly, even this many years into it, this will be 12 years for me this year. And as many recruiting conversations as I have, both crappy conversations and legitimately good conversations, I still get kind of queasy because like when I hit that send button, I'm always like, oh, did I call this wrong? Are they going to be offended? Are they going to be like, Ashley, you're weird? Are they going to try to ghost me? Am I going to have to repair this relationship? I've never had once where people are like, no, and how dare you? And I have legitimately run through almost all of my customer list now, and not one have said, Ashley, how dare you?
Make it a challenge. Make it fun that you will never close a party without a host. You know, if your host does not, or without a consultant, you know, if your host does not want the kit, find someone else that does.
Yeah, I always say go through their customers or even ask her or the customers, hey, we have this great opportunity. I don't want to lose this. Do you know anyone? You know, ask them for referrals and make it as a huge, you know, this is a one time, because it's only one party going in, that you can get this kit at little or no out-of-pocket cost. So it's a huge deal to get all of this product. I mean, it's a great amount of product, even if you're just buying the warmer, you know, it's a great deal, and who knows what they'll do with it. And that's the biggest thing. Try to recruit, try to build your team, even if they're hobbyists. Hobbyists are people who are just placing orders for themselves or maybe their few friends. Even those hobbyists you need on your team, because if you had all rock stars, you would never have any frontline. They would all be rolling out to directors. You need those hobbyists. You need to hit, you know, even if you get a director under you, you still need to hit that 2,000 group wholesale or team wholesale volume. So you need those hobbyists. So even those, just getting those, always offer it. Always, every single party you close out, try to get someone in there as a consultant. And like Ashley did, you know, she set her goal for 15, and I did. I told her, well, if 15, why not make it 20? You know, keep going until you get one. And a few of them didn't respond. She ended up getting 3. So she's like, crap, I got to hurry and get some more parties up, because I have 3 now and I only had 1 party. So she got some more orders together to make more parties to get these people joined. So
Scrambling on vacation on the beach. And just to clarify, Sarah and I live in Utah. We were so beach starved that we almost didn't ever come home. Like, we don't get to go to the beach, which is why I'm saying everything magical happens there. I do, for those of you who are like, I don't even know where to start, right? I don't know who to start to ask. I have 2 suggestions if you're not sure who to ask first. Look back on your Facebook or Insta, or, you know, whatever you use to communicate with the outside world right now. Look at who is cheering you on when you have successes in or outside of this business. Don't we all want to surround ourselves with people who are on our team already? Like, look for those people who, when you're like, oh my gosh, I just had my best Scentsy month ever, they click the like button. Ask those people. The other one, ask the people you already cheerlead for, right? Your friend that maybe you don't spend a lot of time with, but was just like, oh, I got a new job, or, oh, I just graduated, or we just closed on our house, and you click that like button, ask them. Because isn't it easier to cheer for people you already know? Like, this business really is about building each other up all the time. So if you are struggling knowing where to start with the people you already like. It's a lot easier than strangers.
okay, well, we're getting, sorry, it went a little longer, but thank you. I think we've answered all the questions. Thank you so much, Ashley. I love that you have the proof that, you know what, I did. And even during those 7-8 years, I was always hounding her like, Ashley, are you talking to people? Oh yeah, I am. But really, it can't come from your upline. It can't come from anyone else. Like Ashley said, ask yourself those honest questions. And thank you so much for sharing. That was awesome. You did a great job. Karen, do you have anything else to add?
This was fantastic. Thank you so much.
So.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, thank you for joining us. Come back again.
So, all right. Well, I know Karen's got to be tired. I'm tired.
Everybody's tired.
So anyway, thank you so much. Bye, everyone.
Have a good night, everyone.